Welcome to Home Dad Chat, brought to you by the National At-Home Dad Network. My name is Brock,
My name is Danny.
and we are here to talk about life as stay-at-home dads. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
No, I don't want much. I even love handmade crafts made of macaroni. Come on now, you should know me. Times I might eat too much. No worry about my weight, got the dad bod rocking on me. Sketches on my feet, cargo shorts look good on me. I'm a dad, that's what I do.
Saying now.
Yeah, let's punch this thing. Welcome back to the punching bag. Oh, and he's gone again. Come back. Come back. I don't know why this keeps happening. Let's see here. I'm going to try.
I mean, how do you? It's like we're playing clone. We're playing hide and seek.
I'm glad that you're back now after the router was kicked over by your kids.
It's just like what? Makes
no
sense.
Well,
But let's hit it.
Let's punch it.
Punch it. Let's punch it. Punch it, Chewy.
Punch it, Chewy. Yeah. Oh, hey. Welcome to this wonderful Home Dad Chat episode.
Which one of us is Chewy?
I'll be
I'm
Chewy.
thinking it's me. No,
oh,
I'm
it's you?
It's
you think it's you?
Because Chewbacca had a little pet named Han Solo for a while.
He did have a little pet. Does that make me Han Solo?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
I mean, I'm pretty dashing, I guess you could.
It's true. It's true. If I were looking for someone to smuggle something in their ship from Cincinnati to Florida, I don't know where, I would definitely
Milwaukee, Cincinnati to Milwaukee. I'm your mule.
Let's just get old Peg Leg out of the barn and fire it up right up here with a beer under the seat.
That's right. I got some stowaway compartments in my car.
Do that call your motorcycle Peg Leg?
We do, yes.
Yeah, all right.
Yep, Peg Leg the motorcycle. So, yep. But yeah, man. Whew, I'll tell you, it's getting deep in here.
Let's punch this thing.
I know. Well, this is
we cannot say that.
It's okay.
Cannot be the thing.
It's already there, man. It's already there. I'm not putting it out. I'm not taking it out. It's there. It's been put out into the atmosphere.
This is true. Once something like that has left your mouth, you cannot get it back. It's not going to stop.
Nope. That is forever. Get you
out
a
there. Sticker.
50 years from now. Did you say this quote? Let's punch it. Yes, I did.
What does it even mean?
But hey, this is the week for getting ready for Father's Day. I know, and also Father's Eve, which that's a big to do for all of those who are taking on the mantle of putting on a Father's Eve event. So that's there's anybody that's near a Father's Eve event. If you've got the ability to go on Saturday night, definitely RSVP and head over, because those organizers are putting a lot of work into just trying to have a very good evening for all the local dads in their area.
So give us a little history, man. We may have new listeners, or actually people that aren't in the know. They don't understand it when we say, let's punch this thing. What is Father's Eve, Brock? And how can I find out more?
Well, so we've had John Francis, the father of Father's Eve. I'm not going to call him the Godfather. Man. Yeah.
I don't know. He might be. Man.
I guess he could be. Yeah, I guess you could say he's the Godfather.
Yeah.
That works. Yeah. So he's the
as
Godfather.
Long as it didn't offend him in some way, because we do not want to make the Don upset. But
yeah, I feel like he could make an offer that you can't refuse, though.
But it would be such a nice offer. It wouldn't be like, you got to do this. It'd be like, oh man, of course I want to do that. Yeah. John's amazing. He's amazing. So, but anyway, I interrupted you 9 times.
No, you're okay. So yeah, I think it was about 7 years ago. He invited some buddies of his to check out his new garage at his new place, and they decided that it would be cool. Well, actually, we'll step back. That happened actually the night before Father's Day, and they thought that was actually quite a coincidence, and they decided to name it Father's Eve just as a joke, but it actually stuck, and so. years on out, like they just kept meeting at the garage, and then it got bigger and bigger to the point where they had to move it out of the garage. And so then it ended up at, I believe, a local brewery or pub or something. And it's still a pretty big event up there in the Minneapolis area. But at the same time, John, of course, is, franchise guy. He loves to spread the love, and he came to Dad 2.0 and met the guys from City Dads and the guys from the National At Home Dad Network, and just pitched the idea of, spreading this out around the country to all the local dads groups and things. And so slowly but surely he started, putting them in place. And here we are now. And I believe he's like got to be in almost 50 different like cities and towns around the country, maybe more by now. I don't know, but he made it through COVID. That was a rough couple of years, and we're come out on the other side. But it's just a really fun evening. So what takes place, usually it starts at 7 o'clock, because at 8 o'clock he does a toast, just like you do at like New Year's Eve, and it's just a toast to celebrate fathers. At the event, you're going to have typically guys hanging out, telling stories. If it's at a brewery, they've got their own thing that they do. Lots of guys do other things. Like I know that the New York group in years past has done like a flag football game. And then they walk across the street to a pub and have a meal together. I know there's groups that the Chicago group does like a huge family picnic. That's their thing. They do a big family picnic, and so everybody's actually invited to that one. And then there's smaller versions. They're just like, hey, like there's a shelter in our little subdivision. We're just gonna roll a grill over there and just hang out and maybe like smoke cigars and whatever. And what I've been doing for the past few years is I've had it in my backyard, and I've had about 20 guys show up, and I've had people sponsor. I've had businesses sponsor. I've had breweries sponsor, and
nice.
I've had just guys bring their own, like, hey, I want to cook this steak. I want to cook, this burger, whatever it is. Like one guy brought like a whole mess of salmon one time and just was like, I got you all covered. Like, don't worry about it. And so you have that. You have guys that bring their own drinks. A lot of times they just bring like their favorite either 6-pack that they like, or they'll bring a mix of drink, like 6-packs or whatever, throw them into a communal cooler, and you just walk up and take whatever out of it. And it's just a lot of fun there. But the thing that I love most about this Father's Eve event is the fact that you get young and old dads alike together, and they start telling stories and start just, you see these generational connections take place that otherwise maybe would never happen. And I have just watched the guys that I've had at my house just come together each year, and the ones that return each year, like they'll remember them. Like they might not have any contact with them the whole year, especially the older ones, but they'll remember the younger guys. Hey, like, how your kids doing? And I remember like you were telling me this, like, how's that going? And I love it. So this year and like last year, we're having it actually at the a firehouse that is a retired firehouse. So it's a community space here in the neighborhood. And so, yeah, it's great. Like, we can put up tables, have food, have a grill. If anybody wants to smoke a cigar, they can. Like usually like last year, guys like actually brought like poker chips and they played poker. And last year too, FC Cincinnati was playing, and one of the guys is a huge fan, and he was like, he's like, it's an away game. He's like, can you bring your TV and we can watch the game? And I was like, sure, no problem. Of course, now it's hard to do that, because the MLS is on Apple. Unless you're going to pay for that pass, you can't get it. Or I tried to do it with a different situation, but it didn't work out. But anyway, yeah, so it's just a fun evening. And I usually set it up from like 7 to 10 o'clock because, after the 8 o'clock point, it's really like, hey, cheers. And then it's just a time to hang out, and the guys love it, and they trickle in and out. The one thing that has been happening with some of the groups, which is really cool too, is that they'll raise money for different like either family organizations in the city or town they're in, or dad related things. Last year, I was able to connect with a diaper bank here in town. We collected a ton of unused diapers and wipes, and then they take them and repackage them and send them out to families, because 1 in 3 families actually have a difficult time having diapers and wipes in their house when they have young children. And so this is a great way for like, hey, my kid's aged out of these diapers and I've got like half a box that's open. What do I do with them? And it's like they take them and then, repackage them. So I reached out to them again this year, and we're going to do another diaper drive, and people are going to, I've had enough time to promote it that my hope is that people will literally roll by the firehouse and just drop them in the barrels, that for anybody that's not a dad, like, and hopefully we'll collect a ton of diapers for the diaper bank. So that's
Nice.
that's Father's Eve. And if you want to find out if there's one near you, all you got to do is go to fatherseve.com, and you can look at the different cities and see if there's one in your area. And if there's not one in your area, then, and you want to have one, then there's a way to get a hold of John, and he can get you set up, and you can invite, some of the local dads. It could just be a handful of local dads in your group, and just hang out and make it what you want out of it. That's pretty much it.
Right there you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is pretty much everything. Yeah. You covered it.
I'm John's spokesperson.
It actually started in 2012, though. You said that it was 7 years ago, and that
okay.
I was like, what? No, at least 10 years now. So I remember him talking about his 10th year celebration. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So it's been going for a long time, and really, it's just, I mean, it's a moment to hang out with other dads, and that's it. And how, in whatever way that, you show that, and whatever you add to that, and where however if you want to eat, you don't eat, you have a fire, you don't have a fire, whatever it is, it all comes down to just hanging out with other dads. And Father's Day is its own thing, of course, but I think we find a lot of times that Mother's Day and Father's Day a lot of times ends up being for the family and not for the mother or the father. And Father's Day, a lot of times it is, hey, yeah, we're going to make you breakfast, and here's your, here's a little coffee cup that I made in kindergarten, and whatever it is. But it's not the same thing, because while it is a celebration of like your father, the father in your family, Father's Eve is more like just a celebration of being a father.
Yeah.
Which I think really ties in well with how fatherhood has been changing a lot, especially over the last decade or so.
Yeah, easily.
To where, like an at-home father is not that surprising. As an example, I filled out an application online for something like last week or so, and one of the questions was, "What do you do for a living?" So I'm like, "Oh, I'll see what I can do here. I'll do other," and write something in. But it had at-home spouse.
Yeah,
and I'm like, not at-home mom, not even at-home parent, but just at-home spouse. And it really just shows how people are opening up to the realization of there's so much more to the world than what we saw in the 50s, or even in the 90s, but it's really indicative of a celebration for being a dad. And that's very important, I think. And I think that's why Father's Eve is so cool. And why I hope more and more people can start doing it, because it's like you said, it doesn't have to be anything huge. You can just say, hey, any dads in the neighborhood, you guys want to come over Saturday night? I'm having I'm going to fire up the grill, and, we're just going to have some beer and steaks or whatever, and just chill out. Yep. And then we're going to celebrate being a dad at some point. And it goes so much from taking us from that comical, almost buffoon of a father, to the reality of how very important fathers are. And not in any way to downplay the importance of mothers, of course, but the reality is that dads aren't just comic relief, Yeah. I think it's wonderful that John started that. And I'm not sure if he's like retiring soon. He mentioned something like that like a year or so ago, that he was kind of moving on to do it, but he was going to let it grow, kind of, since it's already kind of taken off.
Yeah.
But he's such a good guy.
He's
I
built this
swear.
team of people up over the past few years to really just it not be just him. And I think that
Mhm.
that has taken a lot of weight off of his shoulders. I can see it like in just the way that he operates with it.
Yeah.
He's reached out to people that have marketing backgrounds and people that have social media backgrounds and video and stuff like that to be able to use their talents and build this massive resource for the organizers to be able to work with. And so,
Mhm.
I mean, if he steps away, I could totally understand why. Just because it's got the fortitude to keep going forward. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't know. I haven't actually had a chance to really connect with him so much this year.
Mhm.
I did get to he was doing some podcasts early on, and he had me on there to just talk about possible ideas and trying to get people interested in it. I don't know where that really went to, but I know that he's trying different ways to definitely get people's attention. And the other thing too is that like he's such a juggernaut when it comes to reaching out to other people and also trying to connect just everyday things that are going on that you can tell like he's got such a love to try to bring in like brands to connect with
Mhm.
Father's Eve to be able to add that element to it. And
Oh
it's
yeah.
been it's been a difficult road because he's had brands and then he's not had brands, and then COVID hit and nobody wanted to do anything with anybody. And now, like, I think he's trying to reach out to get some things going, but still people they're so like trigger shy on, getting involved that I think that he's just run into, just a blockade to be able to grab hold of that. So hopefully, they keep hearing and seeing what's going on in other areas and realize that there is a huge return on investment for getting involved with the fatherhood movement that is going on with Father's Eve, and especially the National at-home dad network and city dads and everybody out there. Like I know like fatherhood.gov's out there. Like there's so many programs that are going on right now for dads. I like there just needs to be more recognition from a lot of like the corporate people to realize, hey, oh yeah, like we need to get involved with what they're doing and see what we can do to help them. Because
Sure.
I think a lot of times dads tend to, kind of venture towards like, oh, like they're involved with that. Okay, like that makes me more interested in doing that. So
Mhm.
yeah, and it always seems like in June too, like that's when you really see a push of dad centric commercials and TV shows and like news articles and things like that. So, which is nice. I just wish it would be more spread out throughout the year, just because there's lots of mom stuff that's done throughout the year too.
Well, we'll see. I think we're pretty well represented in a lot of ways than we weren't before. So it's really definitely been growing.
Sure,
But
yeah,
if anybody wants to know more about Father's Eve, of course, fatherseve.com. And if you talk to John Francis, tell him the Home Dad Chat guys love him and wish him well,
definitely,
because he is
definitely.
awesome. He's so cool. But anyway,
Well, hey,
yeah.
so Father's Day, like you
Hmm.
said, you tend to see it as something that is family oriented. I think it really depends on the the dad and what he puts out there as wanting. I know for me, like I usually tell
Hmm.
people tell my wife like I either I want to do something with the family or I just want that separation to be able to go do something that I normally don't get to do. So like for me, it's like, all right, I want to go fishing by myself, or I want to go play like a round of disc golf by myself or something where it's like just have a moment to like clear my head, type of deal. But it's not that way all the time. Like sometimes it's like, hey, we're gonna go visit XYZ relatives and everybody's gonna get together. And so it just really depends on family dynamic from that standpoint. when I was a kid, we always went to like the different grandparents' houses. So like it's like you went to a grandparent's house and everybody was there. You celebrate Father's Day just like you would Mother's Day, and then
Mhm.
you know, and then it was like, all right, and then off you went. So what's it like for your family for Father's Day?
Here it's as minimal as I can make it. I've already gotten a present that is my Father's Day present. It showed up today actually. And as far as the day itself, I don't know. I think I might ask for a meal. I might say, hey, can you just let's, I don't know what, but make dinner, make lunch, something like that. And probably pretty chill about it because I mean, last day of school for us was today. Um, Everything starts tomorrow and then picks up by the end of the week. We got
Right?
camps and we've got violin lessons and we've got trips planned and all that kind of stuff. So it'll really depend this year. I am going up to Eric Schoberg's house. Sorry, Eric, to celebrate his eldest daughter's graduation. She's about to go to college, so I've met her before and she's amazing. And he mentioned he's doing it's a little, he said, I can't do Father's Eve this week because this is the same weekend. So we're going to do this. And,
Yeah.
If you're interested, I'm like, I would love to come out. I would love to bring my kids, bring my wife, come out to your house, sit and eat and celebrate her moving into this new phase of her life. And, I'm very excited for her. I think she's an amazing person and I can't wait to see what she does once she's off to college and what have you.
That's awesome.
But we're going to drive out there. It's about, I don't know, it's maybe 3 hours, a little less than 3 hours, but 3 hours out there, let's say, and then spend most of the day and then drive home. So the next day I might be useless. I don't know. We'll see. I might just be sitting there going, no, I don't want anything. Don't bother me. I want a glass of water and a pancake and that's it. Just go away.
And watch whatever movie I want to watch. And you can't say a thing about it.
Well, I set that up right. I got a TV downstairs. And
there you go.
It's got the sound system and all that. It's not like the greatest in the world, but it is. I can just go, no, I'm going to go watch the Pacific. What's that? It's a war movie. Okay. It's a 9-episode war movie. Just leave me alone. Yeah. You're not going to want to watch it.
That's where you get those really nice noise canceling headphones. You put those bad boys on.
Yeah.
Really enjoy it.
Well, we got a Switch for me. Yeah, Switch and Mario Kart. I've been looking at them for a while. Yeah, because Mario Kart is it's kind of like a modern Monopoly. If you remember the way Monopoly games usually ended up, someone would flip the board. It was just like and that's what Mario Kart seems to be. And I'm really looking forward to getting into it. We set it up today. I've got a couple of extra controllers so that all 4 of us can play, or 4 people, I should say, could play at a time. And yeah, we got on there and yeah, I can tell by the end of next week there will be tears. Someone will be, wanting to throw a controller. It's hilarious. Yeah. It's like, what? I was in first place the whole way. Yeah. And then I blue shelled you, didn't I? Too bad. Now you're in 8th place or whatever.
I see you getting involved with, at that point, you're going to have to get involved with Joel Willis's new channel that he's got for video games for Dad, that channel 3.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can race with get in the races with those guys, because he's got a whole bunch of dads that do that.
I just want to play people I can beat, man.
You just want to whoop up on your kids, is that it?
Yeah, just teach them to. Well, and it's not going to happen either. My 13-year-old is way faster than I am. He just is. He's got the hand-eye coordination. He's just video games, at least.
Sure.
I don't know where I can out bench press him. So I got that going for me, I guess. Yeah, but I don't know. He's growing, so that may not last long. So yeah, we played today, and I'm like, yeah, I won the first game. That's all right. And he's like, yeah, I don't think that'll happen again, though. I'm like, hey, cocky, let's back off a minute here.
Shoot,
right? And it did. He was right. He won like the next 5 games. Now, granted, I wasn't in like 19th place or anything. I was 2nd or 3rd each time. But I'm like, man, he's fast. And I'm not. I've never been accused of being quick. So, but yeah, I want to play with my children, and I want to play chess. with my children until they start whooping me. And then I'll be like, you go play your mom. Yeah, she's pretty good at the game.
Yeah,
She's better than I am.
You're like, all right, you're done. Well, that still sounds like
Joel's
it sounds like a good
I've been
time.
on his Discord.
Yeah, Joel Willis, man, he really, I tell you, the channel 3 is definitely doing quite well with everything he's got on there. Also, too, I don't know if you knew this or not. Did you know that he just released a new fun book for dads? Actually,
I don't know what his newest one is. I know the one that just came out recently, but go ahead.
So he's got the Dad Law, the definitive references for all things dad that he wrote, and it's a really cool hardback. He sent me a couple of copies actually to give away on the show. So I don't know exactly how we want to do a giveaway, but I've got 2 copies here from him that he sent to me. He was like, "Hey, I wanted you guys to have these." He's like, "I really enjoyed hanging out with everybody at HomeDadCon in Cincinnati, and I thought maybe your listeners would enjoy a book." So I was like, "Yeah, I'm sure they would."
He also did the introduction for us to Google, for us to get the website at athome.dad. When they came out with their new .dad things, he was basically made the introduction for us. So
nice.
I really appreciate him doing that too, because just to have athome.dad, that's like, what's your website? At Home Dad? What? Yeah, just Google it. At Home Dad. That's us. And it really excited me to see that coming in. And a lot of the people I talked to about it, I had so many people send me messages. Like, "Hey, did you know that Google's coming out with a .dad? I think you should get on that." And I'm like, I signed an NDA, so I can't say anything. So all I can just say, that sounds like a great idea. I'll look into it.
So is it so if anybody wants to find our website, they can just put in athome.dad and it'll take them to the national page.
Why are you asking this? Have you not been watching our social media accounts, man?
Man,
this job is getting in the way of your being a board member, sir.
Sooner more than later. Sooner more than later, I'm about to just about to be a just normal member for the first time since I even stepped foot inside of this Home Dad Net world. So, which I'm still trying to like wrap my mind around. Like, come September, I'm like, holy cow! Like, I'm just one of the guys. Like, it's interesting. I won't have all the inside scoop. Oh, no.
It's going to kill you. It's going to kill you. It is, because I'm going to talk about so many things and not say anything. Like, that sounds like a great idea. We may or may not be looking into that.
I mean, I can just basically be the probe and just come at you with things. Yeah, well, I'll do what I can.
I'm a brick wall.
Until we tickle you, and then we get all the information out of you.
I ain't ticklish, man, but I get what you're saying.
Oh,
but anyway, Joel Willis is like I said, I'm on his Discord channel too. I'm not going to play like those guys are. I'm not very competitive, honestly, and I want to see my kids win. I'm not actually going to play to beat them, but I mean, what's the fun of that? There's no.
I'll tell you what,
8-year-old.
I'll tell you what.
Here's Dad, I can't win. Yeah,
I gotta
figure it out.
I got a way to do the giveaway. So here's what we'll do. I'll make sure that this gets put into the description as well. But you have to like our post for the episode. You have to go over and follow Joel's site, Channel 3, and then leave a comment of your favorite video game. And then I'll take all those.
It's a lot of work for a book, man.
What can I say?
It's a lot of work for a book. How many likes do we get?
How many likes?
You like this episode. Like this episode, and we're going to roulette with you.
Anyway, we'll just say you get extra bonus if you go like Joel's page. I'm just trying to help Joel out, man. Okay,
1,000 extra no points. 1,000 extra internet points for you.
There we go.
But he is a good guy. Yeah, he is definitely. And he has done a lot of good stuff over the years.
He has,
for fathers. So, but anyway, let's get on to Father's Day, because we were talking about gifts, and I told you mine, and that's it for us. And that's, that's great. We know what we're getting or what have you, but what are some amazing gift ideas, Brock? Because I know you've got some.
I mean,
I know
I've
that
got
because we talked about it before the show, and we set this up, and I'm going to say it because I know, just because you're the kind of guy that would have gift ideas for other people. Right?
Okay, let's just say this. So we've got a lot of bourbon drinking dads out there.
Mm-hmm.
So some interesting gift ideas. These are from the website uncommongoods.com. They have a whiskey making kit, which I think looks pretty interesting. They're going to send you stuff to make your own whiskey. They have a glass topper cocktail smoker, which if you want to smoke a cocktail, I've heard those are actually really cool. I honestly wouldn't mind having one of those. I think a smoked old fashioned sounds just about right, honestly.
Yeah, it's surprisingly good. I did not have a lot of faith in it, and actually, I think it was the guys on the Dadass podcast that brought it to my attention. Yeah, I'm like, okay, all right, I got a little thing. I'm gonna get a chip of wood in there and smoke this thing, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that really changed the enjoyment of the drink. But anyway, you were once again so rudely interrupted.
No, you're fine. For our book club dads out there, they have a Book Nook reading valet, which I think is pretty cool because it allows you to sort of set your book on an A-frame, like, where you want to stop, but it also has a spot for your reading glasses for those of us dads who need reading glasses, and a spot for your coffee or your tea or whatever beverage that you have there beside you. So I thought that was kind of an interesting, just unique little gift there. And then I don't know, there's all kinds of random little bits and pieces in here. I thought that it was neat that they have these like etched like rocks glasses. You can do like maps of your city or something like that on there. I thought that was a pretty neat little deal. The other one that is really fun for a bourbon person is the personalized whiskey barrel, so that you can put your own little brew together from that. So
nice.
But yeah, so those were just a few things that I found. Did you find anything while perusing the interwebs?
There is a lot about alcohol, like traveling bar kits and just so many things. And I'm like, yeah, are we alcoholics? Is that where we're at? Because I don't drink that much. I really don't drink that. I'm like, I don't want you. I mean, I have like a very nice couple of scotch glasses, and I have some the little frozen stainless steel cubes or whatever. And yeah, it's a thing, but I think there's a lot more to it than that. I really, the one thing that I really liked is an apron like you'd wear at the grill. Yeah. That says, "Hi, hungry, I'm Dad."
Yes.
And I'm like, this is perfect. This is just, yes, this is exactly where it needs to go. No, I went to the Art of Manliness for my gift ideas, because I was looking for website. And yeah, and they have some amazing stuff.
Good podcast, by the way, too. I like their podcast.
All right. I have not listened to it, but I will trust you on that one. But one of the first things that came up is something that I think about a lot is a pocket knife. Just a standard folding, simple lockback, nothing, nothing fancy, not a multi-tool or anything like that, just a pocket knife. And so many times that I've needed a pocket knife, and having had one, it's to the point where I have given away, I think 6 or 7 pocket knives, because I'll be, working with somebody else and they're like, "Hey, you got a pocket knife? You got a knife on you?" I'm like, yes. And I'm thinking, don't you? I mean, if you're a kid going to school, no pocket knives, I get it. But after that, I feel like everybody should have a pocket knife, and not, like some Bowie knife you're going to go stab people with. I'm just talking about something that's utilitarian and just easy to open, easy to close, and, can just do the work that you need it to do, whether it's cutting open a box or, taking off a shoelace or whatever it might be. And I thought, because I've met people that didn't have them, and I'm like, okay, well, here, just take this one. Put that in your pocket and keep it with you, and I'll get another one. And I don't
Yep.
mind getting a new knife. I love new knives, I don't sharpen it anymore. It's sharp again. But so yeah, one of the first things I thought of was a nice pocket knife. And the Art of Manliness, and the reason I brought this up was because they have a James Brand pike. And James Brand is a line of knives, and the pike is basically just a simple. It's It's rosewood with a little bit of brass on the handle, stainless steel blade, lock back. Very, very. They're talking about it's very balanced. It's very tough, and it's yeah, that's what I want. It's something that I can just keep in my pocket. It's not huge. It doesn't make a huge, I don't have to put it in a sheath or anything like that, but just so that I can pull it out. It's comfortable in my hand, and I can do all the things that I needed to do, whether it's opening, like we said, like a box or a pack of hot dogs or whatever it might be, that you just don't have something handy, especially if you're out grilling, camping or anything like that too. So that was two of the top ones, I think. But really the apron was my, if Marnie were to say, hey, is there something else you'd like? Yeah, I want an apron that says, hi, hungry, I'm dad.
I think that is definitely a ultimate dad gift for sure. So I like that a lot.
Right. It goes with the jokes. You're going to say it. You might as well have it where you don't have to say it. Just look at it and go, read the apron. I'm cooking here.
Yep, definitely. I actually remember being out on a delivery once, and I think I had either forgotten my knife in the truck or I just didn't even bring one for the day. I can't even remember. And the guy, I was just sitting there tearing at this saran wrap on this I don't even know what it was I had, but the guy was like, "Don't you have a pocket knife?" And I'm like, "Usually, yeah, I do. I totally forgot it." And the guy was like, "Here," and he hands me this really nice pocket knife, and I'm like, "Thanks." And I cut it open. I went to hand it back. And he's like, "Nope, you keep it, man." He's like, "I'll get another one." I'm like, "What?"
Right.
This is awesome. Sometimes you come into contact with angels. Oh, but yeah, that was a good day.
Yeah.
And I still that pocket knife. I had it for years, and then I forget. I don't know if I dropped it the wrong. Sometimes you drop a pocket knife and it just screws it up. That kind of deal.
No, never. No,
never had that.
Dropped my pocket knife. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I dropped mine one time.
That's a cardinal sin, sir. Come
on. I'm just being vulnerable here.
I have never dropped my knife. I don't know now that I think about it, but I never use it wet. I have a specific knife if I'm going to do things that it might get wet, like a lot of.
Okay.
Well, I'm not going to get gross, but yeah. So maybe that's what it is.
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah. Some fun little other items for Father's Day to look into are a salt shooter. Do you got one of those?
I do.
Do you? I wondered.
I do.
Does it work really well? I've always been curious.
I didn't buy it. All right.
Okay.
Someone bought it for me. All right. But I was definitely in the market because it's just a small little air rifle. It's made of plastic, so you can't get a lot of pressure on it. You cock it once like you would a Nerf gun, and you have filled it with salt, and it just shoots little grains of salt. And yeah, you've got to get close. And I wouldn't go after a wasp with it, because the wasp is going to, juke around anything, and suddenly it's stinging you. And you're like, okay, assault gun, you didn't work. But yeah, I have one. And I don't want to say it's fun, because I don't like killing things, even insects. To me, I'm like, I'll do it if I need to, but I don't enjoy it. I'm like, okay, you need to die. It's just, this is what needs to happen. But yeah, it definitely does the job. You get, especially because we get a lot of the big palmetto bugs around the house.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And they're you're like, oh, you're up in the corner. Oh, you're not in the corner anymore, are you? And you'd be on the ground going, I got my back.
But then you just have salt everywhere too, right?
It's not a lot. It's a very small amount of salt.
Oh, okay.
I'm not worried about it killing my yard or anything like that if I shoot it. It's a very small, it's mainly the puff of air, but with just a little bit of projectile in it to,
one granular
break
salt,
some exoskeleton. One giant grain of salt. Shoot. Clonk.
So the other thing that I found on here that I thought was really cool, actually I got this for Christmas this past year, is a smokeless portable fire pit. Corey bought me one of those for Christmas, and then that's what we actually put out on the new patio that I did over Memorial Day weekend. But those are really nice because you don't need big chunks of wood and you get a real nice fire out of it. And then on top of it too, like, you can take it places. Like it's got its own carrying bag and everything. So yeah, to me, like that's a great little thing, especially, if you're like, maybe you're out fishing and you just want something warm beside you and you can just turn that on and boom, there you go. So that was
the other that's a great idea. Yeah. I was gonna say the other idea that I've been kind of sitting on for a bit is to get a polo, because I don't have enough polos. I definitely want to move beyond the out of the t-shirt full time to try to get some polos. I like them.
I mean,
look
you got
a little more like I brush my hair.
You got a National at-Home Dad Network polo.
That's right. That's right. One of the onlys. It doesn't say board member under it yet, but it will. It will.
I'd say by the time we get to Milwaukee, it will. My God, I'm having it.
Just board member 2023. Come on. But to get a polo made out of merino wool, because it really doesn't ever stink. Like you can get kind of nasty in it, but it's an anti-odor type of wool. Merino wool is very soft and very good. And I'm thinking, especially now being up here where it's a little colder, a nice wool polo would be, I could wear it. Whereas Georgia, you just burst into flames. And
I was going to say, yeah,
but and it's funny too, because I'm looking at them like so I don't really want alcohol. I don't want steaks. I just want a shirt. How old am I? Well, evidently, I'm pretty old, because I'm like,
it's better than a
nice
tie.
Polo. It is way better than a tie. Oh my God. Yeah. Please don't give anybody a tie.
Although I will say, if you're in the market for a tie, go wooden bow tie and get a hold of our buddy Eric Thorberg and get yourself one from Dimwinkle Designs, because he makes awesome wood bow ties.
He makes some amazing stuff. Yeah.
He really does.
Very impressive.
So there's another Father's Day gift.
We got one of his cake knives, and I put it in a special place on my shelf because I don't want anybody using it. Like, no, this is just really nice, well-made wooden knife. I gotta put it in my kitchen. Nah.
He made
a beef jerky flower bouquet.
Oh, you mentioned this thing tonight. Earlier.
Yeah.
Wow, what is that exactly?
So exactly what you think it is. It's they make flower shapes out of beef jerky. And then they put it on a beef jerky stick and they put it in like a mug or something for you. And I'm like, what? Okay. It's not worth it. It's expensive. It's like $60 or whatever for a full bouquet. But like, that's kind of cool though, because beef jerky. Beef jerky is always a good gift, I think. Or this one, I didn't make this up, a meat card. We talked about this earlier. A meat card. It is a slab of beef jerky with some message, I guess, cut into it or I don't know, sprayed on it. I don't know, but it's edible. So, and I'm like, really? I would love to just be at somebody's house when they got that for a present, and they would just pull it out and they'd be like, what is this?
Does it just have
Happy Father's Day?
Happy Father's Day. Your pull-out game sucks.
You should do more jerky.
Oh my goodness. Oh
no,
the messages that could get put on that. You see mom blushing there on that one. I did see one where it's a pack of super strong magnets that go in a refrigerator, and you can literally take like your bottles and put it up there, and they're so strong they'll hold the cap, like they'll hold the bottle by the cap.
Wow.
In there.
Nice.
And I'm just like, I mean, that's interesting. But some kids that's gonna go in there with like a knife and a sport, like playing around with them when you're not watching. Stop playing with the beer bottles. I mean, or you're doing it. I mean, you're sitting there messing around, just driving everybody else nuts.
I'm having fun. What's wrong with you? Why are you so upset?
Beer bottle xylophone.
Right?
Oh golly.
Are you leaving? Do you want me to play you out? Oh, yeah.
That'll be the wife. I'm out of here.
A little tin coffee cup, like the the little
Oh,
tin ones,
yeah.
but they're usually like painted white or whatever with tears of my enemies. I
Yes.
just there's because when you become a dad, you lose your teeth in a lot of ways because your testosterone level drops, period. It just does. That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
your body does, So you got a lot more oxytocin, is it? The love drug, whichever it is. So that reminder that, yeah, you're still viable. You could still kick some butt if you had to. Sure, here's a cup. Tears of my enemies. And what dad wouldn't like that?
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know, maybe a lot of them, but I think it would be funny. Sit there and drink it on your porch, just staring at your neighbor as he cut in his yard. What are you doing there, Bob?
There are some good, there are definitely some really good like coffee cup ideas for sure. I think that's one of the things that always comes out as a pretty good novelty selection of coffee cups. It's one of those things too where it's like after a while you're like, all right, I've got enough of them.
Yep.
I have no room in my cabinet now. I've got to take some to Goodwill or something along those lines so that you're
So
not overdoing it.
yeah. So there's a set of fishing lures, and it comes in a specific set with different fishing lures, depending on what you're, of course, going fishing for, and it's called the Rod Father.
Oh my!
Yeah, for Father's Day.
All right.
I like it. I like that. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I'm gonna laugh myself. That was a good one, Danny. You're hilarious. Thanks, Danny. You're my best friend.
I'll tell you what's another good one too is a pair of Hey Dudes. Do you own any of those?
What's a Hey Dude?
A Hey Dude is like a light wear, sort of like like the old Vans, you can slip your foot into type of deal for a shoe. It was just like a skateboarder type of shoe, only these are like, I don't know. They're cork. They've got a cork inner to them. They're really lightweight. I think they're made from like a recycled material, but they're almost like a combination of like a slipper and a shoe all in one. So like I got a pair of them from spring break and they're just really comfy to just slide on and have for as either a house slipper or to be as you're just like walking around outside shoes.
I don't have a great appreciation for comfortable shoes.
Okay.
I grew up wearing either no shoes or boots, and I'm really comfortable in a good pair of boots. So
that's a South thing.
Marnie did get me I don't know, it might be, but Marnie got me a pair of really nice house shoes, and they're like fur lined and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's neat. And man, I love those things now. After a winter or two here, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'll just get out of bed and slip my feet into these little slippers, and I can even wear them out in the garage if I need to because I got the plastic bottom. They're amazing. So I get what you're saying, but no, I don't know the particular one.
Now, I will say I've been like searching around while you're talking. I found the one coffee mug that I would definitely say okay to for my kids. And it's it's like half a basketball. And then it's where the hoop and backboard would be for the basket is actually the part of the handle. And then the hoop actually comes over the cup and you can throw like marshmallows into it, or it's like hot chocolate.
Nice.
And it's called the mug with a hoop. Cool. I love it. It's great. Yeah. Apparently you can get it on Amazon. Perfect. And I'm like, that's actually really cool. Like I would be like, yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So of course my kids would probably try to steal it from me and use it all the time, but regardless, like that would be fun. I will say this, not to be remiss, always is another good gift is the one that we always talk about, which is the Ultimate Stay-at-Home Dad book by Shannon Carpenter. That is a great book for, I feel like both at-home dads especially, and just dads in general, to see what other dads are doing out there, to get lots of great ideas from. So that's another big one that I wanted to get out there. I'm trying to think any other books that you can think of that are fatherhood centric? Art Eddie has some. I know that he has the I think it's the Life of Dad book, if I'm not mistaken, and it's a lot of the excerpts from his interviews with some of the different dad celebrities that he's had the opportunity to talk with over the years. So that's another one to look into. It's a nice little paperback. There's lots of really cool stories in there. So that's another one that I would highly suggest to people to go check out.
My current, all my books are upstairs. I don't have any books here in my office. It's not really a place that I could read if I wanted to. But Brian Anderson's book, Fathering Together, is on my nightstand. And I don't say it's not like literature. It's not like that, but it's definitely a good read. And it just touches a lot of the things on what fatherhood is. And I really like that book. So that's definitely probably the one I would recommend. Maybe not to all dads, like, your first time dad, you need a baby book, buddy. You need something much more specific to all the shit you're going to be, the crap you're going to be dealing with very soon, literally and figuratively. Right. But yeah, for dads that have, been in it for at least, 4 or 5 years, really, I think Brian Anderson's book really, for me, kind of just hit home. So
that's awesome.
Is
he gonna be up at HomeDadCon? I know he lives close to Milwaukee. I didn't know if he was
not sure yet. I don't know yet. I'll ask him next week when I'm talking to him about Fathering Fridays for June, which is a thing he's doing.
Oh, cool. You're gonna be on his podcast, or
no? He's doing weekly panels and discussions and things of that nature. He's got a lot of stuff going on. There's started with Mothering Mondays, which is a different thing. And so Brian and his organization kind of said, well, let's do Fathering Fridays and just talk about fatherhood. A lot about, the things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, but just as dads, not necessarily at home dads. But we're doing one on families supporting their queer children.
Okay.
So we're going to do a panel for that. And he was like, do you think you could talk about it? I'm like, man, I could talk for days. You just let me go.
You're like, I'm your
red
guy.
Flashing light. He goes, Danny, stop. No, Danny, stop. Danny, stop. Let's just get into the good part. Yeah. But you meandered about 500 miles out of the way, ADHD boy. Which I thought was really funny because Brian Anderson's just finally figuring out that he's got ADHD.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, you and I are going to have a conversation about 9 million things and not get anything done. You ready?
You're like, welcome to the club.
He's like, Danny, I got to focus on this. I'm like, do you?
So, but that sounds like a fun. That sounds like a fun focus. That does sound like a fun time for sure. So, is that something that we'll be able to get a link for and put up when after you've recorded?
Yeah, it's up already. Fathersfriday.org. Okay. And they've already done this every Friday in June. So I guess they've done one. They'll be doing another one on Friday.
Sweet.
And
I'll definitely get that put in the show notes. So to check that out.
The latest one, or the first one, is What is Modern Fatherhood?
Oh, good question.
I love that. That exactly right.
Yeah.
Just again, we've talked about this already previously. It's just what fatherhood has become or is becoming. So, but yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
I'll talk to my buddy Brian for you.
Yeah, do it, man.
He didn't know me from Adam's House Cat, but it's cool. I'm fine. He's a great guy.
Well, I think we've given a lot of good ideas out there for folks, hopefully. And I hope that all the dads have an awesome Father's Day in whatever you get to do.
Ticket to HomeDadCon.
Ooh, there you go.
You didn't mention that. I in hindsight, I'm like, why didn't we say that first? We're supposed to be marketing stuff in here. We obviously are not very good at it.
Well, yeah. But, so that is definitely the other thing. I would highly suggest a ticket to HomeDadCon because that's one of those things that is a gift that then he gets to look forward to going to later type of thing. And honestly, like the build up to it with everything that's going on Discord, the conversations that are being had, it's going to be an exciting time. So yeah, I highly suggest to anybody listening, thinking about that HomeDadCon ticket for your dad to get to come and just spend a weekend with a bunch of other passionate dads who are just trying to learn and do the best they can for their kids and their family, and also get a little recharge in the process of all that.
Definitely.
So we'll have a link for how to get those tickets as well in the description. But yeah, I hope everybody has a great Father's Day, and hope everybody can find a Father's Eve event to make it out to. and let us know if you do. Like, send us a comment or whatever. And also too, like, if you want a chance at getting the dad law book, follow the instructions we gave earlier on that. But other than that, happy Father's Day, Danny.
Yep. Happy Father's Day to you.
Yeah, and we'll talk to everybody next week.
Good night, everybody.
I'm a dad, that's what I do.